I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm the head coach for JobSearchCoachingHQ.com. That's a site with curated information that you can watch, listen to, or read. It's going to help you find work more quickly. I worked as a recruiter for more than 40 years, and one thing I discovered over the course of time is that the skills needed to find the job are different than those needed to do a job. Now, I'm recording this ridiculously early in the morning. Like where I am, it's like 6:25 a.m. And the lights are off. I don't have any on my face other than this overhead light. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. And I hope you can put up with it and you enjoy the answers to the questions I've been asked. So I've got 5 questions that people have asked me about working with recruiters. Here's question number 1. What's the maximum period that recruitment agencies and even companies can keep a resume in their databases? Now, it begs the question of why is this an issue for you? So, are you trying to get away from recruiters? Is there something deleterious in your mind to them having access to this information? Now, going further, the answer is they will keep it there as long as they are able to reach you. So if you want to end contact with them, change your email address and block the old one. Don't forward anything there. Change your phone number. That gets rid of all of them because there's no way for them to reach you. I'll just simply say that you've taken the time to develop a relationship with a particular recruiter, not the recruiting firm, but a particular recruiter who may have tried to help you in your job search. You've invested time and energy, and so have they. They understand some things about your background that a stranger might not. Why is it necessary to get rid of them? Seriously, why should it be necessary to get rid of them? Are they reaching out to you daily? Well, if you're in the US, you can message them and say, remove. You can block their email and send it directly into spam. There are ways to get rid of them so you're not inconvenienced. And I'll just simply say, with regard to a phone number, learn the lesson that you can get a Google Voice number, have it forward to your mobile, have it forward to your landline if you still have one, and use that as a filter for contact. I'll also say if they have your mobile number, you can block the call. You can do that from a landline as well, and having your carrier block the call. So if the goal is to end the relationship, there are ways to break up with them so that you're not getting contacted too often. Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2, what's the best way to handle a recruiter who reached out to you that has stood you up multiple times? I love this one. And I was talking about a situation, this kind of a situation with someone I was coaching yesterday, that he loved my suggestion. Now, let's say, an appointment's been scheduled multiple times. Doesn't matter if it's a third-party recruiter from an agency or a corporate recruiter. And now you've been stood up multiple times. You've emailed them, hey, what's going on? You didn't call me, and they're not responding. I have found this technique to be a great way to get them to surface. Ready? The subject line of your next email says, are you okay? And the body reads, we were scheduled on a couple of occasions to speak. I didn't receive a call. I just want to make sure, are you okay? Now, that takes the relationship out of the professional one into one where you're thinking of them as a human being. And recruiters are kind of surprised by this approach. So what often happens is they flush out and they say, oh, I'm okay, sorry, something last minute came up. But what you're able to do is separate yourself out from the pack, and they'll normally start responding there. So again, the idea becomes, Are you okay? Is the subject line. And then your message is a polite thing. It's not a rageful thing, as too often happens, whether that's company or third party. And, just ask them, we were scheduled on a few occasions. I didn't receive the call. I just want to make sure you're all right. That's question number 2. Here's question number 3. Should a recruiter be obligated to explain specifically why a candidate is not chosen to move forward? Now, I'm going to answer this question from both the third-party recruiter perspective as well as from the perspective of a corporate recruiter. Starting with a third-party recruiter. They're messengers for a company. And the company often does not reveal anything more than, we thought the person was too light. Sometimes a firm will say, we saw stronger people. And your reaction might be, okay, in what way were they stronger than me? I can prove I'm stronger. And frankly, it's too late. And maybe you're more concerned about learning from the experience, but third-party recruiters work for employers. They don't work for you. And you may find that obnoxious of me to say, but the fact is you're not paying them anything. A third-party recruiter is employed by an employer. They are hired by an employer on a retained or contingency basis to locate talent for that firm. If the information they receive in the way of feedback could be embarrassing to the firm, often they will shield you from that for fear that you will, call up their client, say terrible things, and frankly, their client doesn't want to hear it. They don't care. At that point, you've been rejected, turned down. Should they be obligated? How are you buying their obligation? What are you paying for their obligation? Answer is nothing. They are not obligated to tell you anything. And the result winds up being, don't kid yourself. Don't think that this recruiter is going to answer your questions because you want to know. You ask, should they be obligated to explain specifically why you weren't chosen to move forward? Well, I'll tell you exactly why you were chosen not to move forward. They didn't like your background on paper. It didn't fit what they were looking for, and that's the reason. Your resume didn't make a case. Okay? Question number 4 of the 5 that I'm going to cover. Do recruiters respect tenacity, or does it look desperate? Well, like many things, it depends. It depends on whether or not you're being obnoxious. If you're calling them too often, you're interrupting them constantly, you're badgering them. You hear anything? Did you hear anything? Did you hear anything? Trust me, a recruiter is going to call you when they hear from the client. If the third-party recruiter, if the agency recruiter isn't calling you, one of 2 things has happened. They haven't heard from the client, you've been turned down, and they don't want to get into an argument with you. They don't want to listen to the sob story. Boo-hoo-hoo, I got turned down for the job I really wanted. And just waste of time, because from their standpoint, you're not paying them anything. And they're being paid by a firm to find talent for them. You failed. You don't want to hear that, but you failed. And the result winds up being they don't want to waste any time. So one of 2 things has happened. They haven't heard anything yet, or you failed and they don't want to get engaged with you. So do they respect tenacity? Does it look desperate? Sometimes tenacity works, but not often. At least with third-party recruiters, with corporate recruiters, they're the messenger for a hiring manager. A hiring manager doesn't want to see you, and your tenacity interrupts their day. It appears desperate, obnoxious, rude. And again, with corporate recruiters, if they hear something from the hiring manager, the manager wants to see you, they're going to call and schedule, or they're emailing schedule. So, it doesn't help anymore. people are well insulated from outside contact, and just understand that your constant communication doesn't really do anything to advance your candidacy. Now, if after a week after an interview, you haven't heard anything, dropping someone an email that basically says, haven't heard anything from you, am I still in contention, or have I been rejected, is really, a fair thing to do. A week after that, and not on Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock, okay? That's just going to sit until Monday. It may get buried in their inbox. Do it on a Friday morning or a Thursday, something along those lines. And again, a week, and then message them. That doesn't appear desperate, and nor does it transcend into obnoxious, okay? Here's the last thing. How can you hide your LinkedIn profile from recruiters? Now, I want to be clear. You really can't hide your profile specifically from recruiters. You can make it private to some degree, in that there's a privacy mode option on LinkedIn that you can find by clicking your profile picture on your homepage, clicking on the tab that says privacy, and then it's how others see your LinkedIn activity. So, this allows you to make yourself private from how people might look at you and looking at your profile. So there's a private mode where you can say anonymous LinkedIn member. There's another one that says someone from, and they mention the school you went to, or a completely public profile. Remember, what this is doing is, when you're searching, this limits what people can see and thus discover about you. So, it's not the same as being fully private, but what it does allow you to do is surf LinkedIn without intrusion. Now, remember, LinkedIn makes a living by selling the entire database to recruiters in a package that's called LinkedIn Recruiter. LinkedIn Recruiter is the entire LinkedIn database. They are selling the ability to in-mail you to search the entire LinkedIn database to fill positions. There is no stopping that. It's really that simple. But you can make yourself private in your activities, and that can help you from being contacted too often. So I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I hope you found this helpful. If you have questions for me, message me through LinkedIn by connecting with me first at linkedin.com/IN/the Big Game Hunter. Mention that you saw this. I'd love to be able to help folks. And I'll also say that if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, because that's what I do, is one-on-one coaching with people, you can again contact me through LinkedIn, and once we're connected, ask about one-on-one coaching. So hope you found this helpful. And by the way, I forgot to mention, I have the #1 and #2 podcasts in iTunes about job search. The #1 show is called No BS Job Search Advice Radio. It has more than 1,000 episodes, the first show in that category to hit that number. The other one is called Job Search Radio, and that one has about 700 episodes as of this recording. So 2 shows that will complement all the videos I have on YouTube. If you want to subscribe, No BS is purely audio. Job Search Radio is now a video podcast. And you don't have to watch it. You can just listen to it if you want. But those 2 will also help you quite a bit. Hope you have a great day. Take care.